Welcome back to the deep dive. We're here to, cut through the noise and get to the heart of things that matter so you can be genuinely well informed. Today, we are jumping into something that, well, it touches all of us change. It's complex, sometimes really frustrating, but absolutely essential. Just think about it for a second your own life. Ever tried a new habit or maybe a new project at work or even just rearranging furniture and you find yourself, or maybe others, just digging your heels in? Even when the new way seems, better. Logically, anyway. It's pretty universal, I think. Our guide for this exploration is quite something. Excerpts from The Gradual Art of Change. It's not long, this source, but wow, it's clear. Really sharp insight into how we react when things shift around us. So our mission today, let's unpack this basic truth about making changes happen, personal, professional, whatever, and really get why one particular approach works so much better most of the time. Hopefully we'll hit that aha moment, where something complicated just clicks.
That's exactly right. And understanding how people respond to change, how to guide it effectively, it's just foundational, isn't it? It affects everything, personal habits, team dynamics, even big societal shifts. The idea we're digging into today might sound simple on the surface, deceptively simple, but its impact, how you apply it, that's huge. It's really a cornerstone for understanding how people tick.
Okay, let's unpack this central idea then. Our source, The Gradual Art of Change, it starts with this very direct observation, almost like a law. It says, people resist too much change. Just sit with that. Does that hit home for you? Maybe you've tried that massive diet and exercise overhaul all at once and found yourself back at square one pretty quick, or maybe at work. Seen a company roll out new software, new structure, new review all together, and just chaos. Why do you think that happens? Why is that such a consistent thing?
It really resonates, yeah. It plugs right into how we're wired fundamentally. And what's fascinating here, what the source points out so clearly, is that the resistance isn't necessarily to the change itself. It's not about rejecting progress always. It's triggered specifically by the amount of it, the volume or the pace.
Okay, the sheer quantity.
Exactly. Our brains are built for efficiency, right? We create pathways for routines, for predictability. It saves energy. So when you throw like a massive amount of new stuff at us all at once, new info, new rules, new processes, it creates this huge cognitive load. It's overwhelming.
Makes sense.
And it's not a character flaw, not unwillingness. It's just a natural human reaction. Our planning brain, the prefrontal cortex, it gets overloaded. And that can trigger a kind of defensive reaction. We cling to the familiar.
You want stability.
Yes. And too much change feels like a threat to that stability.
That really clicks. It's like trying to learn a complex new skill overnight. Imagine trying to become, I don't know, a concert pianist in a week. You just get frustrated, right? Probably give up.
Total overload.
But if you break it down, learn scales one day, a simple melody the next. Small, manageable steps. That leads to progress, steady progress.
Precisely.
So the first approach is too much change, leading to shutdown. The second is gradual, building competence, keeping that sense of control.
In that analogy, it perfectly highlights a common mistake. So many people, leaders included, go for the big bang. They see a problem, they devise this grand solution, and bam, try to implement it all in one go.
Yeah, you see that a lot.
And they expect everyone to just jump on board. But instead, they hit this wall of resistance, sometimes outright rejection. The system, whether it's one person's habits or a whole company, just can't absorb that much disruption at once.
So it's not about if the change is good, but how it's introduced.
Exactly. The method matters immensely.
Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting. Because the source doesn't just diagnose the problem, it gives us the solution. A really elegant one. It says, introduce it gradually. Now, when you put that right next to the problem, resisting too much change, how perfectly does that feel like the answer? It's like the direct antidote, isn't it?
It absolutely is. It's more than just a suggestion. It's a direct, counter strategy. It works because of how our brains handle things. Introducing change in smaller bits, more digestible pieces. It gives people the time and, crucially, the mental space to adapt, to process the new information.
Right, time to absorb it.
Yeah, to build new habits or skills incrementally. It works with our natural capacity to learn instead of triggering that resistance we feel when we're swamped.
So less friction.
Much less friction.
Yeah.
It respects our need to process. Think about steering a big ship.
Okay.
You don't just yank the wheel hard over it, right? You make small, steady adjustments to the rudder. The turn is smoother, less jarring.
Less likely to capsize the whole thing.
Exactly. It generates less stress, less anxiety. People can understand what's happening, maybe ask questions, give feedback. They might even start to feel some ownership over the process.
Ah, that's key too.
It shifts the feeling from something being done to them to something happening with them. That shift is incredibly powerful for getting real buy-in. Makes it feel more like an organic evolution.
Okay, but I have to push back slightly here. Just playing devil's advocate for a moment.
Sure.
We live in a world that moves fast. Disruption, market shifts, sometimes need speed. Can we always afford to be gradual? Isn't there a risk that the gradual art just becomes too slow? You miss the boat?
That's a really important point, and this is where the art part really comes in. Gradual doesn't have to mean slow, like leisurely or without urgency. It means phased, managed, sequenced.
Okay, phased. I like that.
Even in a crisis. Think about it. Often the best response involves quick decisions, yes, but then a phased rollout. You might test a critical fix with a small group first. Get rapid feedback, tweak it, then scale it fast.
Right, like a pilot program, even under pressure.
Exactly. Or you communicate the urgent why very broadly, but then you break down the how into immediate, manageable first steps. Then the next steps. People resist the overwhelming implementation speed, not necessarily the speed of the decision itself.
I see. So the principle still holds. Even when things are moving quickly, you break down the implementation gradually.
Precisely. It helps ensure the change actually sticks and works instead of just causing more chaos because everyone's overloaded.
That's a great distinction. Okay, so let's pull this all together. What does it mean for us? Day to day, we have these two parts. People resist too much change. And the solution, introduce it gradually. Simple, but really profound when you link them. And that title, The Gradual Art of Change, it really highlights that there's skill involved here, right? Finesse. It's not just a formula.
It absolutely is an art. And that word choice, art, I don't think it's accidental. It suggests that the gradual approach is like the technique, the brushstroke you use to paint this new reality, whether in your life or in an organization.
Okay, so what makes it an art? What are the elements?
Well, first, I'd say observation. You have to really look, understand the situation, the people, their current habits, their readiness for change.
Know your canvas, basically.
Exactly. Then intentionality. Gradual isn't random. It's about strategic, sequenced steps. Each one builds on the last, reinforces the new way, minimizes that cognitive load.
Yeah.
Think about rolling out new software. You don't just flick a switch for everyone. Maybe you pilot it with one team that's enthusiastic.
Gather feedback.
Yes. Then expand to a department. Carefully, learning as you go.
Okay, observation, intentionality. What else?
Third, communication. How do you talk about these small steps? You need transparency about the why, the big picture.
Yeah.
You deliver the what, the next step, in manageable chunks. You explain the first small move, hint at the vision, but don't overwhelm with every future detail at once.
Keep it focused.
Right. And then, crucially, measurement and adaptation. How do you know if a step worked? How do you spot those small wins? And how do you use that feedback to adjust your next brushstroke?
So it's a continuous loop. Plan, do a small piece, watch, adapt.
Precisely. It's this dance between where you want to go and what people can actually absorb right now. It prevents burnout, builds momentum.
That makes the art feel much more practical, less abstract. It's a framework, really. Because often, let's be honest, we just announce something big and hope it works out.
Happens all the time.
But this gives a clearer path. And it's not just for huge companies. This applies everywhere. I mean, think about your own life right now listening to this. Something you want to change. A personal habit. Influencing your team. A family routine. How can you take that big goal that maybe feels a bit daunting and break it down into smaller, gradual steps, like wanting to write a book instead of facing write 60,000 words, terrifying, the gradual art said.
Maybe just write for 15 minutes today.
Exactly. Or outline chapter 1, then maybe write 500 words of it, tiny steps. Or for a team, instead of boom, we're agile now, maybe it's up.
Let's try a daily 15-minute stand-up, just our little group, for 1 week. See how it goes.
Yeah. It's about creating these small, undeniable wins. They build confidence, they build momentum, makes the overwhelming feel totally achievable.
But there's a potential pitfall there too, right? We should probably touch on that. Losing steam.
Ah, good point. How do you keep it going?
While slow and steady works, if those small steps don't clearly connect to something bigger, something compelling, people can get change fatigue. If the why isn't reinforced, if it just feels like endless small adjustments without seeing progress towards a goal.
It could feel like death by 1,000 cuts.
Exactly. So the art also involves celebrating those small wins, reminding people, look how far we've come, keeping that ultimate destination in view. It needs purpose, not just tiny increments. Purpose links the brushstrokes together into a coherent picture.
That's crucial. Connection to the bigger picture. Okay, so wrapping this up, the core takeaway from the gradual art of change is just so clear, so powerful. Success isn't about force or just speed, it starts with understanding that basic human thing. We resist too much change. And the elegant, effective, sustainable answer: introduce it gradually, master that principle, internalize it, and it can really shift how you approach, well, almost everything.
It really can. So maybe a final thought for you to chew on as you go about your day. Where in your own world, a personal goal you keep putting off, maybe a team project, a community effort, where could you switch gears? Where are you using a big bang approach right now? And how might you instead embrace this gradual art? What new possibilities might that unlock? Smoother paths, more lasting success for you, and maybe for the people around you too.
Become an artist of change yourself. That's a powerful invitation. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the gradual art of change. We really hope this gives you some fresh insight, maybe more empathy, and yeah, a bit more art in how you navigate change. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.